the National Football League. Today, it's the New York Jets versus the Seattle Seahawks.
This is the Kingdome in Seattle, where the New York Jets are ready to take on the Seattle Seahawks, a team the Jets have not played since 1987. The building is a formidable foe. This Seattle Kingdome is said to be the loudest building in the NFL when the Seahawk fans rev it up. Today they'll have a new quarterback to cheer for because Jeff Kemp is starting for the injured David Craig. There is Jeff Kemp, the son of the former Congressman and Buffalo Bills quarterback Jack Kemp. Jeff, an 11-year veteran out of Dartmouth, but he's not started a game since 1988. He did get some playing time last week when David Craig went down with a fractured thumb. His counterpart for the Jets, who's had the hot hand over the years against Seattle, is Kenny O'Brien. He had a good game last week in the Jets' opening win over Tampa Bay, as the Jets won by a 3-point margin. They got a big game from their second-year runner, Blair Thomas from Penn State. Rushed for a career-high 92 yards on 23 carries. He could get the ball even more today. I'm Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Kingdome. The Jets 1-0, the Seahawks 0-1. And Blair Thomas, who carried the ball between 20 and 25 times a game at Penn State, told us before the game, the more I get it, the more I like it. And the Jets want to give it to him a lot from.
It certainly takes a lot of pressure off Ken O'Brien in the offense when you've got a running back like Blair Thomas, who makes a lot of people miss, Don, and he also gains a great deal of yardage after that first hit. The true test of a running back in the NFL.
Jets have won the toss, and John Casey, a rookie place kicker from the University of Georgia, will kick it off. Don Odegaard is back deep now for the Jets, and the crowd starts up early. Casey, a left-footed kicker, boots it down to the goal line, and here comes Odegaard. Stand out. Special teams coverage by the Seahawks, and that ignites. Sold out. Kingdome Stadium, where 77,000 are here. There's the front line for the Jets on offense. Criswell and Eatman, the tackles. Cadigan and the road grader Dwayne White, the guards, and the center's Jim Sweeney. O'Brien, in his 9th year out of Cal Davis, starts at quarterback with Blair Thomas as runners and Brad Baxter, the fullback. Hoyer, the tight end, will come out when they go to the 4-wide set. Freeman McNeil, Chris Burkett, and Terrence Mathis come in to join the starters, Al Toon and Rob Moore. On first down, O'Brien throws a quick out and gets Al Toon. And Toon is out across the 20 to the 22-yard line and appears to have enough for a first down. As you look at the front 7 now, an 11-yard gain on that play of Seattle. Green, Hayes, Cortez, Kennedy, a player to watch. Second-year man out of Miami of Florida, the 3rd player selected in the draft a year ago. Wooden, Wyman, and Porter back the line. This is a tough team to run on. New Orleans averaged only 2 yards a carry against the Seahawks last week. Dime defense, they sent in a ton of new people to go with Harper, Hunter, Blackman, and Robinson. It is now first down and 10 for the Jets, and they go to the run. Baxter, the fullback, takes it right at Seattle and gets close to the 25-yard line where Eric Hayes and Cortez Kennedy stopped him.
Don, you mentioned that this Seahawk defense very difficult to run against, and the reason, those two guys who assisted on the tackle. Eric Hayes at close to 300, Cortez Kennedy at close to 300, very aggressive at the line of scrimmage, big guys but very noble. And Kennedy is one of those guys who always seems to know where the ball is.
You mentioned Bill Cloak to the ground, 296 pounds. They list him at 6'1". He might not be that. Handoff to Blair Thomas with those great cutting moves. Thomas spins off and spins ahead. And on a 2nd down and 6 play, Blair Thomas is ahead 10 yards and a Jet first down.
That's a 9-yard carry by Blair Thomas. Very patient runner. Waits for his blockers up front to just get a little move somewhere, and then again, Rufus Porter, 97 hits Blair Thomas. He picks up an additional 4 yards. That's Chuck Knox's grading system for a running back, and he thinks Blair Thomas is one of the best.
The second all-time leading rusher at Penn State, a former Seattle great, Kurt Warner's number 1. Bill Paterno calls Blair Thomas the best back he ever had. Downfield throw. As O'Brien airs it out, running the fly was Rob Moore, and you see O'Brien was laid out by big Jacob Green, number 79.
O'Brien has been laid out by everybody in the NFL.
He's taking some hits.
And this guy, Jacob Green, a good speed rusher to the outside. That's a big matchup for the Jets. It's one that they frankly should win. Jacob has been around the game for an awful long time, and he likes to rush to the outside.
Now it is 2nd down and 10 for the Jets. Lone wide receiver, power set right, and they go to Blair Thomas. He cuts inside and gets to the 38-yard line, a gain of 4. We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching the Browns and the Patriots. Cleveland a winner for the first time under its new coach Bill Belichick today, winning 20-0 at Foxborough. We're at the Kingdome in Seattle, where the Jets, after taking the opening kickoff, have now advanced the ball out to their 39-yard line. 3rd down comes up now for the Jets, and they need 6. O'Brien stands in. Tip ball is tipped. It's picked off and taken back to the 35-yard line by Robert Blackman, the strong safety. Ortez Kennedy and Eric Hayes put the heat on O'Brien, and then somebody tipped the ball, and it was a room service interception for Blackman.
And one of the things that the Jets want Ken O'Brien to do is set and throw. He does, and Kennedy tips the ball. It looks like Al Toon was the intended receiver, but Rob Moore was the intended receiver, but you're right. I mean, the defensive backfield coach doesn't throw it that good in practice to Blackman, and he does make the interception.
Now Jeff Kemp starts on offense. No score opening quarter. Seattle's first possession. Derek Fenner runs down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 3 yards on the play. Mo Lewis, the outside backer on the left side, the rookie from Georgia, made the stop for the Jets. Offensive line, Heck, a top pass blocker. Bailey, Fiesel, Millard, a great run blocker, and Hitchcock starts at right tackle for the injured Ronnie Lee. John L. Williams and Derek Fenner, the starting runners. Blades and Kane, the wideouts. Tice, the tight end. They call it their spread formation. Lewis, Clark, and Paul Scanzi will come in to join Blades and Kane as wideouts. 2nd down and 7. Kemp to Williams, straight ahead. Coming up to make the play was outside backer Joe Kelly, number 58 for the Jets. Jets a young defense, a lot of speed in their front seven, more than they've had in recent years. Washington, Mercereau, Dennis Byrd, who might be their best front lineman, and Jeff Lageman across the front. Lewis has come on very well, a 3rd-round pick out of Georgia. Kyle Clifton's been terrific, if unheralded, for the Jets over the years. In his 8th season, he was their number 1 tackler, was the number 1 tackler in the NFL. In their dime defense, they put a ton of new defensive backs in to join stars Joe Hasty and Lonnie Young. Washington, Odegaard, Brim, and Kors come in. Extra DBs in now as it's 3rd down. Jeff Kemp from the shotgun needs 5. On a catch. Good for, we'll see where the ball is marked. The veteran Paul Scanzi, number 82 from the University of Washington, is going to be spotted just short of a 1st down.
Just 4 yards on the reception. Scanzi should know better than that. They try to run a pick. There's 82 Scanzi going back in motion. The outside receiver tries to pick the defensive back, but an excellent job of coverage. I believe that's Washington, 48 on the tackle. Or is it Mike Brim? Excuse me, Mike Brim, 43. Kemp looked good there, setting up. Good pressure from New York, but he makes his first completion, and they're going for it on 4th down.
Lageman knocked him down just as he released the ball. 4th and less than a yard. Power set. Fenner. Did he get there? Jets shoot the gap nicely, and the Jets might have stopped this 4th down try. Could be a big turning point early in the game. Lageman's running off the field, so sure is he that the runner was stopped short.
It all depends on the spot, that's for sure. This defense now, the New York Jets under Pete Carroll, a very, very aggressive defense. They play one gap, which is they're not responsible for the man in front of them, just his either inside or outside gap. That allows the defensive line to get further up the field. And they stop him. Goodness, ground chuck. Can't convert a 4th down in about 1.5.
They had problems running last week against New Orleans, had only 40 yards rushing.
Well, they blamed it on New Orleans, considering that New Orleans is an excellent rush defense, but with just 1 rushing 1st down last week against New Orleans and not converting this 4th down to 1st down, Boy, it's got to make people worry. Mercereau right there fought off the block and was there to make the tackle.
So Knox sends his Seahawks on a 4th down try early, and they can't make a yard. And the Jets take over the ball for the 2nd time in the game. No score in the 1st quarter. O'Brien on a delay hands off to Freeman McNeil. As he weaves ahead at the Seattle defenders and gets to the 32-yard line, Freeman McNeil, the longtime veteran out of UCLA, gets ahead for 6 yards.
As we look up front, you will constantly all day watch those 2 defensive tackles. 78 Hayes handled very well by the road grader. They like this young man. This Dwayne White, number 67, 300+ pounds. They think he can push anybody in the NFL off the line of scrimmage.
2nd down, a long 4 now as O'Brien on a call rollout. Pump fakes. Releases the ball to a tight end, Chris Dressel. And he's ahead to the 35-yard line, a yard short of a 1st down. So the Jets, Trump, showing a lot of diversity in their offense early in the game. There's the road grader, number 67. He's across from a 300-pounder, Eric Hayes.
Yeah, Eric Hayes is going off. It looked like he sprained his ankle. The only thing that'll keep this kid from being a Pro Bowler for the rest of his career is that dinner table. If he can keep his weight around 310, he is going to be an awesome offensive guard, but he's got to fight that weight. That's Eric Hayes to the sideline.
3rd down and a yard now for the Jets. Play fake by O'Brien, and the rifle throw good for a 1st down. Brilliant execution by the Jets as they look to open it up early. On a 3rd and 1, the whole Seattle front 7 looking run. A fine play fake by O'Brien, and then still with pop on his fastball, he delivers it to Rob Moore for 17 yards.
That is an excellent feature of the Bruce Coslett offense. He loves that play action fake. Of course, you got to be able to run it to hold those linebackers at the line of scrimmage, but there was no one between Ken O'Brien and Rob Moore for that 17-yard reception.
O'Brien said getting the ball to Moore early is a key for us. When you get it to him early, he keeps going, and he just got it to him for 17 in the 1st down. Tip ball again. Remember, the last tip ball resulted in a Seattle interception. Jeff Bryant, number 77, got a hand on it. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Jets at the Seattle 48-yard line.
Jeff Bryant, a replacement for Tony Woods, who's out with a bad knee. You'll see him on the right, comes to the outside, gets that mid up. Actually, was that Jeff Bryant that hit it, or was it Cortez Kennedy again? Looked like more than one hand hit that ball.
Al Toon had his best career day against the Seahawks in '87. About 195 yards worth of passes as Baxter runs hard. Jets get some good blocking from their left side. Criswell, the left tackle, Cadigan and Sweeney. And hard-running Brad Baxter, a free agent from Alabama State, gets ahead for good yardage inside the Seattle 45-yard line.
You know, this kid's turned out to be an excellent lead blocker for Blair Thomas, and when he was in college, he was the feature back. Didn't block for anybody. They gave him the ball all day long, so he's been a pleasant surprise for the New York Jets, and a very big kid back there.
3rd down. Jets need 6 as O'Brien sets it midfield in the shotgun. Handoff. And the Seahawks shut it down. Jacob Green, number 79, read it all the way, and Cortez Kennedy, 96, assisted him. So the Jets come up short on a 3rd down try.
Donna, in the nickel package, watch from behind the defensive line of scrimmage here. There are no linebackers. There are 7 defensive backs in the ball game, but Kennedy, again, knows where that ball is going, is there along with Jacob Green to assist on the tackle for little or no gain.
Now Aguiar, the Jet punter, who came to them from Barcelona, the World League of American Football, out of Utah State. It's a high punt downfield. Chris Warren is there to field it.
Oh,
the
catch the ball.
Jeff Hop, and they down it inside the 10-yard line.
Gee, Burkett could have turned around and caught that ball and would have been dead at the 4.
So a good break for the Jets, a tough one for the Hawks, a 35-yard punt. No return as Burkett comes off the field. Week number 2 in the NFL, and there's been some first-time winners. Jim Kelly throwing for 6 touchdown passes so far, leading Buffalo over Pittsburgh, not final yet. The Rams upset the Giants. Phoenix, a victor over the Eagles at Philadelphia. The Bears hold on to win at Tampa Bay. Miami defeated Indianapolis. New Orleans upset Kansas City. Minnesota, a 1-point winner over Atlanta. Cleveland, a first-time winner under Belichick. San Diego up on San Francisco in the first quarter. Chargers a big underdog as now we go to live play. And here's John L. Williams, and the Jets are there to get him. Williams runs, and middle linebacker Kyle Clifton, number 59, comes across.
Interesting, in talking to Kyle Clifton last night, he likes this four-man front, obviously, because he's protected by those defensive linemen. Watch him come left-hand side of the screen, 59. Terrific pursuit angle. John L. Williams realizes that he has no place to go. He loses 3 yards in this running game of the Seattle Seahawks, which is the benchmark for the Seattle Seahawks, not working to this point in the game. They don't want to put a lot of pressure on Jeff Kemp to throw it. They may have to.
Kemp sets up under his center now on 2nd and 13. Out pattern. He's got a man. Catching the ball is Tommy Kane, who is a standout at Syracuse, and he's ahead for a gain of about 12 yards, just short of a first down. The left side cornerback Stargell, who has been a target for opposing quarterbacks, was defending a gain of 12, bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Stargell he's a target because the other corner, Hasty, apparently one of the best coverage guys man-to-man you can find in the league. So why not go to the other side?
Charger was beaten last week by Lawrence Dawsey of Tampa Bay in a 65-yard scoring play. That's right, Trump, about James Hasty. A lot of people won't even go to his side. He is now acclaimed as one of the best one-on-one covers in the NFL. He's a native of Seattle, happy to be playing here. Here's a quick ball and good one by Jeff Kemp. He throws the fastball, and Brian Blades, who came into this game, the #1 receiver this season in the NFL, makes the catch. Blades caught 12 last week against Tampa Bay.
Excellent job for Jeff Kemp.
Or against New Orleans.
You know, you take a little bit of confidence for each play to the quarterback. It looked to me like number 48, Washington of the Jets. If he looks at the ball, he's able to put his hands out there and hit it, but it was a completion. But Chuck Knox is going to keep it short. High percentage passes, 3- and 5-step drops for Kemp until things get going here.
Seattle gets its first down. There's no score in the game. 4:40 to play in the first quarter. Fenner cutting back. Derek Fenner breaks it for 15 yards and a Seahawk first down. Lonnie Young finally got him.
Watch this lead block by 32. John L. Williams on Kyle Clifton. Middle linebacker supposed to be there to make that tackle. John L. Williams gets Clifton on the ground, and Fenner scoots right by him for 15 quick yards.
John L. Williams has been the total offensive yardage leader for the Seahawks the past 4 years. He had 10 receptions last week against New Orleans. Williams gets the call, and the Jet defenders again very quickly to the ball, making the knockdown for a loss of a yard on the play. Seattle trying to run the ball. Trump is not working yet.
Yeah, and again, against this Jet defense, there are going to be plays where they pop through cleanly, like the last one did with Fenner carrying the ball. Because of this defense's aggressive nature, there are going to be times when the offense guesses right. And I think Jet fans have to put up with that. Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, is willing to put up with that. And other times you're going to stuff them for little or no gain.
Here's Kemp dropping on 2nd and 10. An out pattern to Fenner. He breaks the tackle. And Derek Fenner is across midfield and down to the Jets' 45-yard line. Derek Fenner, a 10th round draft choice out of North Carolina, who was the Seahawks' leading rusher a season ago.
They get single coverage here. Lonnie Young, 31, misses the tackle. He's the safety covering the back out of the backfield. Fenner, another one of those versatile backs. You know, Seattle basically has 4 fullbacks with Jones, with Fenner, with Chris Warren, and with John L. Williams. They got big backs who can do a lot of different things for you.
And Kemp Trump off to a good start.
4 for 4, 38 yards.
His last start was against the 49ers 3 years ago. It did not go well for him. Here he play fakes. He's looking deep. Kemp fires it out. It's picked off by James Hasty of the Jets. He's across the 40 and the 50. He has blockers as he comes inside the 35-yard line of Seattle. So the turnovers even off at 1 apiece on a pick by James Hasty. And Kemp's big start comes to a screeching halt for the moment.
Don, that ball was thrown way too late. Tommy Kane was open over the middle of the field. Kemp, watch how long he looks. You can see Kane. You should see Kane. There he is. He's open now. Why he waits to throw it, I don't know. But Hasty is back there waiting for him. Ends up being a pick and a 38-yard return for the New York Jets. Turnovers last week against Seattle, 4 of them. Really cost them a chance to win that game against New Orleans.
So the Jets now start inside the 35-yard line of the Seahawks. Here's a handoff to Baxter. Brad Baxter, who attacks tacklers, gets ahead for a good gain of almost 7 yards. Jacob Green and Terry Wooden were the stoppers.
Watch Kennedy again, 96. Sweeney to center. Look where Kennedy is, right where the ball is. Baxter, an excellent job of cutting it back. That's one of the things that the Jets are going to have to do all day long. Cut back against those defensive tackles, Hayes and Cortez Kennedy.
They call Cortez Kennedy the Tez. Defensive line coach George Dyer says what I call him is a champion. He's the best we've ever had around here. 2nd down and 4. Turning the corner is Blair Thomas. Beats the tackler. Look at the moves as Blair Thomas weaves down to the 15-yard line. On 2nd and 4, he got about 13 yards and a Jet first down. Eugene Robinson got him.
Blair getting up a little slow. He's walking to the sideline there. I hope he didn't turn his ankle, but he's limping slightly.
This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Kingdom in Seattle. We'd like to watch those of you who have been watching the Bills defeat the Steelers 52-34. There's no score here, but the Jets are driving after an interception. Freeman McNeil turns up and takes on strong safety Robert Blackman, a hard hitter from Baylor in his 2nd year with the Seahawks. A gain of 3 yards on the play, 2nd and 7.
So far, Jets have done one thing, and that is keep this Kingdom crowd quiet. Very seldom do you come to the Kingdom and you can hear the snap count on the field. The Jets all week worked on the silent count, but the Seahawk fans yet to really get into this game.
Seahawks trying to avert the bad start of a year ago. They went 0-3, then won 6 of their last 8 to finish 9-7. McNeil loses the ball and quickly falls on it, saving possession but losing yards back to the 17-yard line. The very quick Rufus Porter, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler and outside backer, was almost on it.
This is the old counter series that the Washington Redskins ran and still run so effectively. That's totally on Freeman McNeil. O'Brien got him the ball, but it looked like Freeman was looking for a place to run. Forgot to hang on to it.
Al Toon looking over to the sideline as a play is signaled in now. This will be an interesting call, Trump.
Four wides for the Jets. 7 DBs for the Seahawks.
And now we have a timeout that signals the end of the first quarter. So when we come back to the Kingdom, the Jets will have a 3rd down and 12. At the moment, no score. Back at the Kingdom in Seattle, we're ready now to start the 2nd quarter. Bruce Coslett at ease on the sideline. If there's one noticeable difference over the Jets under Coslett than under Joe Walton, his predecessor, it's a much looser atmosphere. Their practices, everybody seems to have fun.
I think Bruce is one of those people who is always going to be considered a player's coach. He likes to be around the players. He treats them fairly. Having been an ex-player, I guess that's why.
Big down now. 3rd down and over 12. It's O'Brien with a timing throw, makes the connection, but a marker is down. As Rob Moore coming off the right flank, running a post pattern. And O'Brien under a big rush made a perfect throw, but let's see what the call is now. It's at the line of scrimmage. Eugene Robinson made the tackle.
False start. Offense prior to the snap.
Referee Pat Haggerty.
Well, if it's prior to the snap, then Seattle has no choice. They have to take the penalty, which gives the Jets another 3rd down crack.
Not designating any numbers.
Somebody in white.
Dwayne White, that big guard you were talking about, 312 pounds, and he's against Hayes, who started the season at 336. Hayes, so when 2 of us get done belting each other, there's liable to be a sinkhole on the floor of the Kingdom. Freeman McNeil still has all the good moves left as he weaves down to the 12-yard line. Seattle playing pass all the way, and Freeman McNeil gets ahead for a gain of 10 yards, and the field goal unit comes out.
John, I think it's a very sound offensive call. You've got a 4-man front, 7 defensive backs, and if you can slip Freeman McNeil through the line of scrimmage and he breaks 1 tackle, he might pick up the first down. But Leahy comes in for the field goal. This guy's older than 4 assistant coaches on the New York Jets.
You see his effectiveness, though, when he gets down close. He's made 93 of his last 100 field goal attempts inside the 40. This will be a 29-yard attempt. He spins it up and splits the uprights once again. So Leahy, who hit 3 field goals to help beat Tampa Bay a week ago, gives the Jets an early lead, 3-0 early in the second quarter. The Jets will kick it off when we come back. 9-yard field goal by Pat Leahy of the Jets has opened the scoring here at the Kingdome, and now Leahy kicks it off, or Aguiar kicks it off, a high spinner. That's going to be taken by Chris Warren back at the 7-yard line. He breaks it. A big back with speed. Chris Warren at 230 pounds, one of the fastest runners for Seattle. And he gets ahead for a 21-yard return, and the Seahawks ready to go on offense again when we come back with the Jets in the lead 3-0.
Football League is brought to you by Miller Lite. It's it, and that's that. By Big Men Shavers. There's a big for every beard. By Xerox Antifreeze Coolant. The temperature never drops below Xerox. And by Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares.
3-0 Jets on a 29-yard Pat Leahy field goal. Now the Seahawks go on offense from their 28-yard line with Jeff Kemp at quarterback for the injured Dave Craig. You see the time of possession. Jets dominating early as we have 13:50 to play in the first half. Kemp with a spread out. Here's a penalty marker down as John L. Williams is ahead for a gain of about 8 yards. He went out of bounds at the 35-yard line, run out by Kyle Clifton.
This penalty is going to be against Seattle. Pat Haggerty with a call, illegal use of the hands. You know, that first quarter statistic on time of possession, the Jets last week had the ball for 38 minutes. And when you can keep your other team from running just 11 plays in the second half, as they did with Tampa last week, you're going to win.
Into the mass, number 76. Offense. Still first down.
Hitchcock, who is starting for Ronnie Lee at right tackle, called for the infraction, and now the ball will be set back inside the 20-yard line.
Game not starting the way Chuck Knox likes his football team to start. They're sputtering here. Can't get the running game going. And he does not want Jeff Kemp in many 1st and 20 situations.
That's what Kemp has now, 1st and 20, as he calls signals with a foot movement.
Sweet.
And they go to the run to John L. Williams. Blockers in front. Williams gets out to the 26-yard line. Got about 9 of the penalty yards back. Tackler was James Hasty, the right cornerback, number 40, in Scott Mercereau.
Again, when you look at this defense, there are defensive backs all over the field. A 4-man defensive front for the New York Jets, 7 defensive backs, and that's old USC student body sweep right. They pull the guard, the center, and the tackle as lead blockers for Williams, and he picks up 9 easy yards.
Big John L. from the University of Florida sets up as a lone back now. 4 wideouts in the game. Second down at 11.
Same defense for the Jets, too, Don.
They jam the front with 8 people. Kemp stands in, makes the throw, but it's to the wrong side. Looking to Brian Blades. It's incomplete. As we check now the Fram ticker. With 12:36 to play in the first half here at Seattle. Buffalo won, so did the Rams in an upset. Phoenix upset the Eagles at Philadelphia. Bears a winner for a second week. Miami gets its first win. And New Orleans upsetting the Chiefs at Kansas City. The Vikings win in an upset at Atlanta. Cleveland blanking New England. Detroit defeating Green Bay. San Diego continues to lead the 49ers, and Denver's up on the Raiders 3-0 in the second quarter as there's a jet down. It looks like it might be Al Toon.
No, that's the defense is on the field.
No,
that's Darrell Davis.
Darrell Davis. 98, not 88 Al. So while Darrell Davis is being attended to, looks like it's a little better now as he starts to get up. There'll be a break with the Jets in the lead 3-0. An ankle, he gets retaped. Looks like he'll be ready to go again. As the Seahawks now have a 3rd down and they need just over 11. Kemp from the shotgun eludes the rush. He can run and gets out to the 33-yard line, but he's not close to a 1st down, and the Seahawks will have to punt the ball as the Jets free safety Lonnie Young moved up quickly and made the knockdown. Dennis Byrd, number 90, with a lot of speed, put the pressure on and flushed him. He got Jeff Kemp to run.
Well, so far, Don, the Seahawks have been in this situation a lot. Kemp back with long yardage and got to throw it. That's not what Chuck Knox wants out of his offense, and that's not the position he wants to put a quarterback like Jeff Kemp in. The running game has got to work, and at this point, it's not for Seattle.
Donnelly in the punt now for the Seahawks. It's a high punt. Terrence Mathis comes over, fields it at his 26-yard line. And the Jets with initial wave of blockers opening a channel, and then a penalty marker comes in from off the play. Might be an illegal block. A 41-yard punt and a 16-yard return by Terrence Mathis.
Holding. Number 89 on the return.
Dale Dawkins.
You know, I don't know how long it takes for a coach to teach young players that once the ball is punted, every official out there has one thing to look for: illegal use of the hands. There's no way you're going to try to get away with it. All 7 officials are looking for illegal use of the hands.
89 on the return.
Reaffirming it was Dale Dawkins, receiver from Miami of Florida, and a good one. Now an official timeout on the field with 11:43 to play in the 1st half, and the Jets continue to lead the Seahawks 3-0. 9-yard field goal by Pat Leahy lead the game 3-0. Now the Jets set up their offense 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. O'Brien with a long count, then goes to the run to Johnny Hector, and the Jets again push back the front line of Seattle and get 4 yards.
You know, one of the things that Bruce Kozler's offense will feature for as long as he's there is a lot of different formations. That time, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. Bruce likes to give the defense a whole bunch of looks. Spread that defense out a little bit. Never really know what they're going to do from one series to the next.
Last year, the Jets had a 19-play drive and got a field goal. Osler said, I thought we'd never outdo that, but last week we had an 18-yard drive and punted. 18 plays. Now the handoff to Johnny Hector, and a good defensive play by veteran Jacob Green, number 79. Shot the gap, made the knockdown at the 31-yard line.
Tried to run the counter. Again now, Seattle coming in with 7 defensive backs, but see the counter? The Green gets around the first block. He's there to make the tackle on Johnny Hector by himself. Wait a minute, look what's happening here. Seattle has 7 defensive backs in the ball game, and the Jets, I believe, still have 3 tight ends. They do. Seattle's expecting the nickel package. Jets have 3 tight ends, Don.
They're down 5. Good play fake by O'Brien. He swings it out to one of those tight ends, and turning upfield is Chris Dressel. And he is ahead to the 37-yard line, and it's going to depend on the mark whether or not he got the 1st down.
Well, this game comes down to a chess game between coaches. Bruce Kozler won that one. You see the 3 tight ends. Everybody goes left. The naked by O'Brien. Dressel sneaks out. Robinson 41 on the tackle, but the offense that time tricked the defense.
Robinson, who veteran from Colgate University, who calls the defensive signals. Knox said he makes too many tackles for us. We need our front 7 making tackles, not our free safety. He leads us too often. He just made that saving play as O'Brien throws and delivers again. Once again, he's on target to a tight end. This time it's Ken Wisenhut, number 86, for a gain of 9 yards on 1st down.
Gee, they may have found something here. Jets may have found something. But that 3 tight end set, although they're now leaving, they're spreading that defense out a lot. You see with the motion, Seattle doesn't look exactly positive as to what they're going to do. Zone, and Wisenhut right underneath Wyman to make the pickup of 9 yards. Nice play.
David Wyman, 92. Like his counterpart. Wow, here's a fumble ball, but O'Brien is on it on 2nd and 1. It'll be 3rd and 4. Wyman was in. He's a 5th-year player out of Stanford. Had a complete knee reconstruction at Stanford. He's still one of the best middle linebackers in the National Football League. He never gets any acclaim.
This guy, when drafted, flunked the 49ers physical because of his knee. Came to Seattle and has been a starter when healthy ever since. One of the game's real tough guys, too, but doesn't get a lot of great press up here in the Northwest.
Came in the same year Bosworth. They say around here, Bosworth got the press and Wyman made the plays. 3rd and 2. Beautiful throw by O'Brien as he threads defenders and drills the ball in. Al Toon down and stop and a look in, and a hard thrown ball by O'Brien gets by the outstretched hands of Robinson. A 9-yard gain on the play.
Dwayne Harper almost gets there just as the ball does. O'Brien takes a while. See 29 right there? First Toon making his first start of the year, out last week because of the effects of a concussion in preseason. This Jet team has huge receivers with Toon, with Moore, with Burkett. Big, tough guys.
Al Toon with that 9-catch, 195-yard day, 2 for touchdowns the last time he played against Seattle, as the Jets go back to the run and advance the ball down close to the 42-yard line. Baxter, the fullback, ran. Wyman again was on the tackle along with Joe Nash. The Jets were one of the best running teams in the NFL last year. They graded out 4th in the entire league during their 6-10 season.
First in the conference. So far, the Jets have kept the crowd out of the game. They have moved the chains. They have time of possession. All this is going great. The only problem they have is, just as they had last week, inside the 20, they can't seem to get the thing in the end zone.
2nd and 5 comes up now with 7:10 to play in the first half. O'Brien has made some tremendous throws in this game. Now we have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, it looks like we've got the wrong personnel or the wrong play called for the personnel. And Ken O'Brien takes his timeout, goes to the sideline to talk to Bruce Cosley.
So a break in the action as the Jets continue to lead the game by a score of 3-0. In the first half at Seattle, Jets up on the Seahawks 3-0. 29-yard field goal by Pat Leahy has been the only scoring. O'Brien has been superior throwing the ball. He's thrown it 9 times, has completed 7.
Yeah, 62 yards, 1 interception. Of course, that interception was tipped.
Now we're told that Blair Thomas has a back spasm and his return to the game is uncertain. Another tip ball. As O'Brien try to lead throw down the field, looking at Rob Moore coming off the right flank. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Coslett was for 9 years a Cincinnati Bengal and a teammate of Bob Trumpy's.
Yes, he was. We both played the same position. This is now, I believe, the 3rd tip ball that Ken O'Brien has thrown already in this half. Cortez Kennedy has done it twice. Let's see who gets it this time. Well, I'm not so sure it's not Kennedy again.
He occupies 2 blockers every play, Cortez Kennedy. Here's another throw by O'Brien. Receiver was bumped, but the official said it was clean. Brian Davis was covering Rob Moore. And O'Brien went down hard just as he released the ball, and the Jets will have to punt it with 6:50 to play in the first half. Seattle dominated the Jets in the early going of the matchup when Seattle came into the league in '76 as an expansion team. Seahawks beat the Jets first 7 times they played. Now the Jets have won the last 3, with O'Brien's passing being the difference. Chris Warren, who ran back a punt 21 yards earlier, fakes to field it as 5. It goes in. It'll come back to the 20 on a touchback. 42-yard punt, 22-yard net. And the Seahawks get the ball once again when we come back to the Kingdome in Seattle. 2 years old, out of the University of Kentucky. Eubank was criticized for hiring a coach that young with no pro experience. I asked him why he did it, and Eubank said, Blanton Collier told me he can coach. That's good enough for me.
That's a pretty good endorsement. Blanton Collier seen a lot of good coaches. Knox is 1 game from tying Paul Brown for the all-time win list in the NFL.
Sixth place at the moment with 164 wins, Chuck Knox. But his contract problems here have been very public. The owner and he negotiated a long time. Ken Behring, he finally got a 2-year extension, with the owner having an out after the first year. Kemp dropping to throw on first down. Strong of arm, he delivers the ball downfield to Brian Blades, and he's ahead for a first down. Gain of about 12 yards on the play.
Jeff Kemp has looked very, very good. Nice setup here. You see the play action fake, sets, looks, throws, good strong arm. He believes that good long, that good strong arm makes him a very good long passer. But right now the Seahawks need a lot of possession. They've only had the ball to this point in the game for 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Jets have had it for 14:45.
Tanner runs the ball, gets it out to the 33-yard line. First down carry, good for 3. Strong safety Brian Washington, number 48, made the stop for the Jets. First tackler. This game moving quickly. 5:40 to play in the first half. Jeff Kemp has vivid memories of the Jets. He begged his dad to take him to a road game when he was 10 years old. In his dad's last season, Jack Kemp with the Bills, they played at Shea Stadium. Jeff said he went and sat in the stands with his mother. His father got knocked out by Larry Grantham, a Jet linebacker. He was out for 2 minutes. And we thought he'd never get up. It seemed like an hour. I remember the Jets, he said. As Kemp drops on 2nd down and 7. Lets a long ball fly, intended for Tommy Kane. Incomplete at the 48-yard line of New York. As we check now the scoreboard and look at the Fram ticker. The winners in the earlier games today. Phoenix off to a 2-0 start. So are the Bears. New Orleans now 2-0. San Diego, a surprise leader against the 49ers at Candlestick. Kemp sets in the shotgun now. It's 3rd down and 7. Big rush comes. Washington, the safety, came up, and Kemp does well to release the ball. Tommy Kane, the intended receiver. Ryan Washington came on a safety blitz and knocked Kemp off the play. He did get rid of the ball.
Well, Washington was there. Mercereau was there. And Washington's the first one that flushes him. Bird was there. A lot of pressure on Jeff Kemp on that particular time, and he just throws the ball away to avoid the sack. Bird with the spin move number 90. Fiesel, the center, 54, can't get out to pick up Washington, and the Seahawks must punt again.
Rick Donnelly back in the game, and Terrence Mathis is back for the Jets. Jets put on the big rush, went for the block. High punt that Mathis has to watch hit, and again it takes the bounce against the Seahawks and comes out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. So the Jets again get good field position. NBC's coverage of all the thrills and excitement of Notre Dame football continues on Saturday, September 21st, when the Fighting Irish host the Michigan State Spartans, a longtime rival for Coach Holtz and the Irish. George Perla's team, always tough defensively and always tough on Notre Dame, as the Irish, though, have beaten Big Ten teams 15 straight times. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern time with Notre Dame Saturday, hosted by Gail Gardner and Ahmad Rashad.
Well, to this point, this is as quiet as I've ever heard the Kingdom. They tried to start the wave. Nobody would respond.
That's right.
I mean, the Jets have kept these people in their seats, and normally this place is nuts. They used to have a decibel meter that they put up on the scoreboard here. Your ears would ring after you played a game here, but they've been very quiet to this point.
4:59 to play in the half. O'Brien throws, and going back to the wrong side to make a fine play on the ball is Al Toon, a 3-time Pro Bowl receiver for the Jets.
Again, O'Brien, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, set, throw. That's a big change in the way their offense, the Jets offense, functions this year as opposed to last. You used to wait for that receiver to get open. Now it's the receiver's job to get open. O'Brien is going to throw it on time.
Seattle fell behind 17-0 last week against the New Orleans Saints and came back to take the lead only to lose by a field goal. O'Brien on first down, a timing pattern, but he's high, looking at tune to the near side of the field. Patrick Hunter was defending on the play for the Seahawks.
You see O'Brien looking to the sideline. Bruce Coslett, green shirt there, first of all signals what personnel he wants in the game. And then with a very sneaky little signal, he gives Ken O'Brien a part of a series. And O'Brien knows what out of that series you want to call in this situation. So it's not sophisticated, but it does accomplish a great deal with just a few signals.
Freeman McNeil runs straight ahead and gets down to the 40-yard line. David Wyman stops the draw but does it 7 yards downfield. It'll be 3rd down and 3. McNeil, who's been a standout for the Jets in his 11th year from UCLA. He was the 3rd player picked in the entire draft back in 1981. The Jets' all-time rushing leader with a career rushing average of 4.5 yards a try.
Well, he's going to be busy if Blair Thomas has back spasms. We haven't seen him since the first quarter. McNeil and Baxter are going to get an awful lot of work here today.
3rd down, the Jets need 3. O'Brien with a timing pattern gets it out to Rob Moore, and the spot looks like it's going to be just short of the 1st down. Dwayne Harper was covering and made the tackle. The linesman there, though, put his foot down short of the yard marker.
That's the official side, too. First half, the chains are on that side, so they're not going to have to move it far to know. Big decision here for Bruce Coslett. Do we go for it?
Browning Nagel on the sideline, the rookie quarterback outfitted with sunglasses. The better to ward off the glare of the arc lights here.
Very bright in here. A lot of ultraviolet rays, you know. You don't want to hurt his eyes.
Number 11 is Troy Taylor. 8 is Browning Nagel.
And Don, the way the Jets have controlled the line of scrimmage at this point in the ball game, I don't blame Bruce Coslett for going for it on 4th down.
They've been getting a lot of stuff behind the right side of their line and the left.
Yeah, but you know, they're missing Blair Thomas here. I don't know. Baxter's an awful big back, but
Brian play fakes, puts it up.
Oh,
Incomplete. So the Jets, as they did earlier, gamble on a short yardage play with a throw. The last time they hit it, this time they do not. Both teams now have gone for it on 4th down and not succeeded, and the Seattle Seahawks take over the ball.
that was catchable. Play action fake to Baxter. O'Brien sets and throws.
Pretty tough catch.
He had to stretch a little bit. Not quite there on the money. Patrick Hunter in coverage, and the Seahawks take over.
They'll get the ball at their 37-yard line. Jets return to their home base, Giant Stadium, next Sunday to play the Buffalo Bills. The Seahawks go on the road to play the Broncos at Denver. Last report, the Broncos holding to a 3-0 lead over the Raiders at Los Angeles. Jets camp on 1st and 10, and the Jet defensive line comes in and sweeps under Derek Fenner. Scott Mercereau, 94, and Marvin Washington, 97, the tacklers. The Jet defensive line, coached by Greg Robinson, a former assistant head coach under Terry Donahue at UCLA, and the linebackers coached by Foge Fazio, and this whole front 7 has been looking a lot better.
And the defensive coordinator, Pete Carroll, has really turned these guys loose up front. The one gap, again, is you don't have to take on the whole offensive lineman, so you can penetrate.
Second and 11 call now for Kemp and the Seahawks. Throw and a catch. Down the run is Tommy Kane. He's ahead for a 1st down to the Jet 47-yard line.
James Hasty, the man in coverage here, basically is outrun by Tommy Kane. There's Hasty in the background. Now watch Hasty tries to knock the ball loose here with his punch in the back. Kane, a nice 1st down pickup. Good crossing pattern. Needs a lot of time for the quarterback to let the play develop. So good job by the Seahawks offensive line.
Tommy Kane, the Syracuse standout, was a National Hockey League draft quality hockey player out of Montreal, Canada. Here's the handoff, and breaking it is John L. Williams, as now the Seahawks start to get some offense. Down to the 35-yard line as the game is down to the 2-minute warning in the first half. Seahawks apparently buoyed by the Jets' failure on 4th down to convert. John L. Williams got 11.
2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning is given as the Seahawks have now moved into long field goal range as they trail in this game 3-0. .159 to go in the first half, and still the Pat Leahy field goal is the only score of the day, a 29-yarder in the first quarter.
Watch this cutback by John L. Williams. Back against the grain. Lonnie Young makes a saving tackle here. John L's got another 20 yards to run if Lonnie Young doesn't hold him up there.
Jeff Kemp continues to operate fairly effectively. Jets have been keeping him under pressure. He's made some good throws, though. But the Seahawks still not close to points. Here's a marker down at the snap of the ball. As the ball carrier is taken down quickly, John L. Williams, straight ahead try.
Yeah, John L. Williams was illegal motion. Trying to play a little Canadian football there, heading towards the line of scrimmage. Not allowed.
Here's Pat Haggerty.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 32. Still first down.
Certainly no question about this penalty. It was on 2. John L. went on 1.
The Kemp's numbers, the 1 interception. Now on 1st and 15, Mike Tice, 87, the tight end, goes in motion. Kemp standing in. And on the run, he's got an open channel. Kemp's ahead inside the 30. He's got a first down and spins out of bounds down at the 22-yard line. A big block by wide receiver Tommy Kane helped spring him an 18-yard gain.
Boy, did a great job there. You know, a kid with so little experience in the last 3 or 4 years might throw this thing up and try to make the completion. Kemp's choice, I'm going to run it here. Not afraid to run it. 18-yard run, gets himself out of bounds, stops the clock. Very well executed by Jeff Kemp. A young man with a great deal of confidence. You see that starting record with the Los Angeles Rams, with San Francisco, and here.
Receiver at Dartmouth for 4 years was David Shula. They set a lot of Ivy League passing records. Don Shula's son. And again, the rollout by Kemp. Again, he eludes the rush. Lets it go. Man is open, but he skips it in on the 1 hop. Mercereau helped force the errant pass. The intended receiver was Tommy Kane.
Yeah, Tommy Kane slipped as he came across the middle. That was a crossing pattern. Kemp, again, a good job. When you're throwing the ball late down the middle, throw it low so it can't be intercepted. Little rollout, great mobility by Jeff Kemp. He avoids 94 Mercereau, keeps that ball low so it can't be picked off. Incomplete. Strong arm. Not a big kid though, is he?
They list him at 6 feet.
That's a lie. I'm 7 feet. He's 6 feet.
Does have the big arm though, and he can move. We've seen that demonstrated time and again. Here's a throw, almost a pick. Mo Lewis, the rookie linebacker from Georgia, and he had an open track to the end zone 75 yards away.
And Jeff Kemp there never took his eyes off John L. Williams. Watch, he's looking. He's right on John L. Williams, and Mo Lewis. Oh, he had goal line in his eyes. Watch Kemp. He's looking. Boy, you can't do that. You can't. That's too big an advantage for the defense.
Now with 3rd down and 10 coming up. Kemp and the Seahawks align in the shotgun. Timing throw into the end zone. There's a marker down. It was intended for Lewis Clark, number 84.
Well, there was contact there, Don. Don Boyd Odegaard was the man in coverage with the flag down. It looks like it's going to be against the New York Jets.
Illegal use of the hands. Defense, number 98.
Darrell Davis. Maybe a hand to the face mask. So that's an automatic first down on a 3rd and 10. The contact at the end of the play down in the end zone by Odegaard looked to me like the receiver was out of the field of play. See if we can pick it up here at the end of this throw. You see Davis has got his hand up in Andy Heck 66's face on the face mask. Illegal use of the hand, so it's an automatic first down.
And the ball is now positioned at the 17-yard line. As Pete Carroll, the Jets' young defensive coordinator, his team being challenged now. Jets lead at 3-0 late in the first half. Fenner caught behind the line of scrimmage by 97 Marvin Washington.
And again, I've referred to that one-gap defense. And here is another example, because he jumps right inside this block. You see 97 on the left? Jumps right inside Hitchcock 76's block and is there to make the tackle before Fenner can get underway.
Now a timeout is signaled for as Kemp goes over to the sideline to get some counsel. 1 minute and 19 seconds left to play in the first half. Big guy in the white hat in the background in the warm-up suit is Kelly Stauffer, who was a top pick in the draft by the Cardinals. They couldn't sign him. Seattle's traded for him, and his career here has really been troubled by, well, right now he's hurt. He has a bad shoulder.
Yeah, you know, the guy I don't see on the sideline is Dave Craig. Last week down in New Orleans, he gets a penalty on the team. 15-yard penalty, so maybe he's been banished from the sideline this week. I'm not sure.
And we look at the Fram 10-minute ticker. The offensive coordinator for the Seahawks is John Becker. Got to dig into their bag of tricks to try to move the ball on the Jets.
As you look at those scores, both these teams utilize a great deal of personnel on almost every down. Offensively and defensively, a new group of people come on the field.
Denver continues to lead the Raiders, and San Diego a surprise leader over the 49ers. 8th play of the drive coming up as the ball is down to the Jet 22-yard line. Seattle coming off a 9-7 season. Knox, as we look at the young defensive coordinator Pete Carroll, Knox says the best talent in the AFC West belongs to Kansas City. And the second best team from a personnel standpoint is San Diego. Kemp from the shotgun on 2nd down and 15. He's looking into the end zone, lets it fly. And there's a penalty marker down.
That might be on the offense.
Odegaard broke it up.
That might be on the offense.
Lewis Clark was the intended receiver. Bailey 65 overheard, and he says it's against the Jets. It is. Another first down for Seattle.
Don, if we have this on replay, there's as much contact by Lewis Clark against Odegaard as there is the other way. Spread formation by the Seahawks. And at the break, we're not going to see the contact, I don't believe. You see that right arm around the back of Lewis Clark. There was the flag thrown, but
Holding. Defense, number 21, still first down.
different than pass interference in the end zone. They would have got the ball at the 1. So at least Don Boyd Odegaard knows if I'm going to do something in the end zone, hold it.
3-0 Jets with 1:14 to go in the first half. Seattle now aligns first down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Kemp backpedaling, throws it out to the running back John L. Lewis, and he's wrestled down by James Hasty at the 15-yard line. John L. Williams taken down there, and it's now going to be second down at about 7.
This Seahawk offense has struggled. They just can't get anything going. Letting the clock run here, taking their time getting back to the huddle. They've had this is their first time inside the 20-yard line, and they have not functioned very efficiently down here. They've let about 15 seconds expire here from the clock.
The game clock winding down in the second quarter. 3-0 Jets. Stands in, makes the throw, and makes the connection. The ball is down to the 4-yard line, and a marker comes in after the play.
Well, he makes the completion, but Tommy Kane was wide open near side of the field.
He had a threat to get it to Lewis Clark for a 12-yard gain.
He threw it into a lot of coverage. Tommy Kane was uncovered near side of the field, but it is 12 yards, and there is a flag.
Here's Pat Haggerty.
Defensive pass interference, number 21.
Don Boyd Odegaard again called for an infraction. As on the penalty calls, the Seahawks move closer to the goal line.
Crossing pattern again. Kemp looking all over the field. Look at the guys around there. 3 guys in coverage. 21 Don Boyd Odegaard was the guy who was called for interference. So now it's first and goal at the 4. They'll be taking their time getting this thing in the end zone, aren't they?
Still no points for the Seahawks. They continue to trail 3-0.
Look at this. 4 wides. What a concession by Chuck Knox.
Just might call his own number and run it. Penalty marker down as Kemp is on the run and throws on the run. A connection to Paul Scanzi, but there were markers down.
Why, Chuck Knox and John Becker, the offensive coordinator.
Tripping, number 76.
That's Bill Hitchcock, so that's a 15-yard penalty. But Don, I'm amazed. First and goal at the 4, and Chuck Knox's choice is 4 wide receivers and throw it. I mean,
whatever's fair.
This isn't a good message to his football team at this point. We can see the leg whip right there on Washington, but it adds 15 yards. First and goal. Well,
Bill Hitchcock was the leg whipper. Washington the whippee. That was the foul call that negated a touchdown.
Interesting choice there by Chuck Knox. That shows me a lot about his confidence in his team to run at this point.
19 seconds to go in the half now. Again, the shotgun formation. Kemp looks. He fires. Man is open. And it skips off open Lewis Clark.
Wide open Lewis Clark.
Wide open.
Oh!
Ball came in a bit to the wrong side, but very playable ball by the receiver. So the Seahawks miss again on a touchdown try.
Now that may be the difference between Kemp and Dave Craig. Kemp has a very, very strong arm, but this ball just eats Clark up. It is behind him, but that is a very catchable ball. Goodness. Again. Second and goal, 4 wide receivers.
Blades to the lower portion of your screen is their best receiver. He's against the Jets' best corner. Now the drop by Kemp into the end zone, and again a tip ball incomplete, and it brings up third down.
All right, Don, Seattle has not done very well here at all since they got inside the 20. Just 9 seconds to go in the half. They got a chance for one more throw into the end zone, and then they got to bring the field goal kicker in. I don't think he has a primary receiver. He just kind of looking around. Scanzi, 82, closest man, yeah.
Kemp coming in a little bit high. Bill Walsh, a quarterback expert, always talking about the #1 basic, delivering the ball. Throwing off your left foot if you're right-handed. You've got to have your weight forward. Kemp hasn't been doing that against the rush. Ball's been sailing. Now Kemp gets it away and gets his man down to the 5-yard line, but the Jets stop the touchdown and brings up 4th down, and time runs out. The Seahawks run out of time, and they get no chance at a field goal.
Wait a minute now. The field goal team is coming on the field.
Yeah, but the rest of the guys are running off.
There was 1 tick left on the clock, and you do have to call the timeout.
Okay.
Let's see what happens here.
The Jets have to come back.
Yeah. Pat Haggerty says there's 1 second left on the clock. Even though the NFL says that the game clock, the scoreboard clock is official, it's not. The official time is kept on the field, and the Seahawks do have 1 more snap at it.
So Coach Coslett has to come back on out. And the rookie place kicker, John Casey, who missed a 37-yarder in the closing seconds last week at New Orleans that would have sent the game to overtime, will now try a field goal for Seattle.
Bruce Coslett saying, what are we out here for? The game clock expired. It was a 0-0. What are we doing out here? Why are they getting another play?
Be about a 23-yarder for Casey if they go for the field goal from this position.
Instant replay reconverted to 1 second.
All right. Instant replay used to...
Let's watch it in real time here, Trump.
Well, what we're not going to see, though, is who calls the timeout after the catch. 3, 2, 1. Now, somebody's got to call timeout. When is he down? The scoreboard clock says 1. So they get the field goal attempt, and it's good.
That is the final play of the first half, and it's the first points of the day for the Seattle Seahawks. As the Jets and the Seahawks go to the locker room tied up 3-3, Coslett and the Jet coaches protesting to Haggerty. But it would appear on the replay that there certainly was time to call a timeout, and somebody's job it is to go out and do it. So it's a tie game, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station.